All right, Broncos country, let's ride. Looks like you got yourselves a new head man, and it's former Saints head coach Sean Payton, one of the biggest and most sought after names in the coaching pool this offseason. This is a huge get for the Broncos, even though, ironically, this was not their first choice, it seemed like. They did have to send over a few picks to acquire his rights from the New Orleans Saints after he retired last season. And we all knew Sean would be back. He wasn't really retired. He was just fed up with the Saints. But the Saints played hardball. They owned his rights for a few more years. If he wanted to get back into coaching, someone was going to have to pay for it. And the Broncos coughed up the picks. But now they're trusting him to fix their $200 million quarterback, former Super Bowl winner, Russell Wilson. I think this is a good move. Go all in on the offense. Your defense is pretty good. You got to get the offense fixed. Why not take a guy who worked with a Drew Brees, who Russell Wilson is just a more athletic and a better deep ball thrower than Drew Brees ever was. So the talent is there. The question is, can he get his accuracy on point? Can he get guys open? Will this be a success? I think there's no in between for these two. This is either going to be a major success or a major failure. And that begs the question, is Sean Payton an overrated head coach if this thing does fall apart in Denver? We talk about how great Sean Payton is, offensive genius, but if you look at his career stats, they're very interesting. Now, he's 152-89 in regular season games, which is very good. A .631 winning percentage, fantastic. But when you get over to the postseason, a little bit of a different tune. He's only 9-8, has the one Super Bowl, but there's a major asterisk on that Super Bowl run. He was suspended for an entire season for the nonsense of that group. I mean, that's a big, big asterisk on that team. And that's the only postseason run where he won more than one game. We have a lot of 1-1 finishes, a lot of 0-1 finishes. So it's very interesting, especially when you have a guy who, like Drew Brees, is going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. So the question is, did he get the most out of Drew Brees and pump him up? Or was Drew Brees carrying him along? It's an interesting question, but I do think this combo is going to work out in Denver, honestly. They have a really good kind of core of guys. I don't think they're bad. They were very banged up at the wide receiver position. They lost their running back early in the season. Sean Payton's going to be able to get guys open, draw this thing up. Can Russell Wilson hit him? And I think we saw it the last 2 weeks of the season. Russell moved out of the pocket a little bit. He didn't do too much, and he hit guys, and he made plays. That's all you have to do. The defense was one of the best in the NFL, which is kind of crazy to think. I mean, there was a point they would have been 9-0, 10-0 if the offense had just scored 18 points in 4 quarters. Now, 18 points isn't crazy. That's how bad it was, and that's how good this defense is. So hopefully they can keep that defense going, get the offensive working, and this thing should be humming. But the funny thing is, Sean Payton was not their first choice. Obviously, they ended up sending over a first-round pick and a second-round pick next year in exchange for Sean Payton, and they're getting back a third, so it's not a disaster. But they didn't want to get rid of that draft capital. But the only reason they went with Sean Payton is because DeMeco Ryans was their first choice, but he's getting the Houston Texans job. What a huge hire for the Texans. 49ers defensive coordinator, spent a hot name in coaching the last 2 seasons, but he's signing a 6-year deal with his former team. This should really revitalize a hurting franchise. The Texans got the number 2 pick in the draft this year after Lovie Smith gave him a nice FU. They fired coaches on back-to-back seasons after 1 year, so really not good for them. So they've had 4 head coaches within the span of 3 years, basically. So they need some stability, get some juice back into this franchise. I love this hire. DeMeco Ryans is the best defensive coordinator in the game right now. His 49ers defense have been fantastic the last few seasons. He was a pretty damn good linebacker himself. So this should be a nice move for Houston. They got their guy. But if you look at Ian Rappaport, this was a crazy day for the Broncos. They zeroed in on DeMeco Ryans as their guy. They tried to secretly lure Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. Harbaugh said no. They got a deal done for Sean Payton. They then tried again today to hire DeMeco Ryans away from Houston, but DeMeco said his heart is in Houston. So then they finalized the deal with Sean Payton. So DeMeco Ryans, your new head coach in Houston. Sean Payton, your new head coach in Denver. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who is going to be the best fit for this team? Which one of these two teams do you think are going to do the best? Do you think Houston's got the right guy? They're going to turn this thing around. D'Amico gets this team back into the playoffs within 2 seasons? Or is Russell and Sean Payton going to cook up a deep playoff run? Maybe get themselves another Super Bowl? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.